Hi there, Steve here again. I guess we're for sure 3 weeks at least into my 90-day challenge. Yesterday I talked about some of the frustrations, that sense that I can't understand the Korean as well as I would like. It's that long road where you've now can actually say some things in the language, understand things, but yet you're not really able to understand the content that you're interested in, at least when listening. And then, I thought to myself, I said, hold it a minute here. Here I am, Korean. I've gone at it 3 times, 3 separate occasions at least, an hour a day or so here in Vancouver. Now, when I think back to when I lived in Japan for 9 years. How long did it take before I could understand political discussion on the radio? A long time. I think it took a few years living in Japan. So actually, I'm doing better than I did when I was in Japan. I was speaking more in Japan, but the goal right now that I want to get to is to where I can understand these political podcasts, because if I can understand them, I know from experience that's just going to wash over my brain and eventually get me to where I can speak better. So, hey, I'm doing better. And if I look at my statistics here at Link, like I have like 37,000 known words in Korean. I don't know what my count would be in Japanese because I've never learned Japanese at Link, so I don't have a word count at Link. It's going to be higher, but maybe not that much higher, but higher. Yeah, maybe quite a bit higher. I just don't know. But in the last month here, or because our statistics at Link go sort of day, week, month, so last month I have read 31,780 words, like 32,000 words I have read in a 3-week period. I wasn't able to do that in Japanese because all I had was either I had these rather uninteresting books with word lists where I was constantly flipping back and forth, or I had to try and read the newspaper with a dictionary, which was hopeless. In the last 3 weeks, I have saved 3,548 links. That is, I have looked up 3,500 words that are in my database now that pop up again as yellow words. I have increased my known words total by 3,300 words in 3 weeks. There's no way that I was doing that in Japanese. So I have tools available to me now. For example, I can go and access this podcast, Kim Jong-bae's podcast, every day. There's more than I can possibly handle, complete with transcripts, audio that I can import at Link, I can work on, and I'm learning about, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Pan Ki-moon might be going back to Korea to run in the presidential elections. All this kind of stuff is very interesting, and they have 2 people debating, one on the right wing and one on the left wing and stuff. So I'm following all this stuff. But of course, again, I'm in the car going to play hockey this morning. I'm listening. I can't really understand what they're talking about. Then I get back here and I work my way through it. And of course, now I understand it much better and I'm going to go listen again. So all I wanted to say with all of this ramble is, yeah, it's frustrating that I can't understand, but we have to have realistic expectations. And if I consider how long it took me, and I was working hard in Japan at my language. I was doing a lot of listening and reading. They had this Naganuma reader all in hiragana, which I would read, boring as hell, such fairy stories from Japan and stuff like that. And then I'd find other readers. I was listening to this Showa no Kiroku, which was a wonderful NHK tape of the history of the Showa era with the actual speeches of the people starting from 1925 up until the end of the war. Or no, up until MacArthur, up until, until the Showa emperor ceased to be the emperor. I can't remember, actually, to be honest, what he did. He abdicated or he died. I should know. But I listened to this stuff over and over and over again. No transcripts. No chance of really getting a hang on, a handle on what they're saying. Kind of more or less listening to it. So one should be happy with what one has achieved. One should not have unrealistic expectations. And, I got to remind myself, here I am. I'm actually reading stuff in Korean. And I know that in another month or 2, I'm going to be able to understand the podcast. So don't be too hard on yourself. And that's what I have to say. Thank you for listening. Now I got to go cook dinner. I won't get into details of what I plan to cook for dinner unless people are interested, and then I'll talk about it next time. Bye for now.